Hi, welcome back to the Love Luxury YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about the difference between a Birkin 25 and a Birkin 30. Don't forget to hit subscribe, like and comment. So the main difference between a Birkin 25 and a Birkin 30 is obviously the size. Across the bottom, a Birkin 25 measures 25 centimetres, whereas across the bottom, a Birkin 30 measures 30 centimetres. But that's not where the differences stop. The Birkin 30 is taller and it's also deeper. We'll get to the measurements in a minute. But one major thing that really plays a huge and vital part in deciding on whether you're going to go for a Birkin 25 or a Birkin 30 are the handles. So a Birkin 30, I'm going to put a glove on to show you, has larger handles than a Birkin 25. So I'm going to put both of my gloves on actually, so I can handle both of the bags and just show you what I mean. So here we have a glorious Birkin 30. This is gold with palladium hardware in Togo leather. The specs of these bags are identical. They're both Togo, they're both gold colour, and they're both with palladium hardware. So the 30, as you can see, very easily gets my hand through and I can rest it in the crook of my arm. Now, you can't do that with a Birkin 25 unless you're super slim. And I'm not overweight by any means, but I do have quite large hands and arms. And as you can see, I'm struggling there to get my hand in. So this one is definitely the definition of a handbag, particularly in winter, because as you can see, I've got a shirt and a jumper on and I'm struggling. In the summer, you may have less layers on, but your jewellery will then be coming into contact with these handles. And what that causes is damage on the handles. So people do put twillies on. I'm not a massive twilly lover. I like to carry a bag as it is, but you do have to bear in mind, especially with a Birkin 25, the damage your jewellery, all of these jewels, would be causing on a bag if you're trying to put your hand through, but it's a very small handle. So going back to the 30 and the handles, as I showed you, shirt, jumper, very easy to put on. Even if I had a thick wool coat on, I would still be able to carry this in the crook of my arm. And in the summer, obviously, you're wearing less layers and therefore it'd be even easier to carry. But then you have to consider body lotions and oils going onto the handles. So these are things you need to consider when thinking about carrying your Birkins, because they don't have the crossbody strap like a Kelly does. So I'm going to get my trusty tape measure out. I'm going to show you the measurement difference between the two bags. So we've already discussed the 25 and 30 across the front. So this one is 30 centimetres across the bottom, and then the side height is approximately 21 centimetres, and then the depth is 16 centimetres. So we've got a 16 centimetre depth across the bag there. So it's quite substantial. And then if we move on to the Birkin 25, although it's only 5 centimetres across the bottom difference, there we go. Actually, this is just over this one. So this is closer to a 26. So this is where the artisan creating these bags by hand comes into play. Sometimes you may find they're not exact measurements, but that's normal because they are handmade. So let's see how high the bag is from the top to the bottom. And we've got 18 centimetres, and then the width is 13.5. So there's a 2.5 centimetre difference between the Birkin 25 and the Birkin 30 in depth. So now I'm going to show you what fits inside a Birkin 25. Now these bags are for sale here at Love Luxury and they're brand spanking new. So I am going to have to be super careful when opening them because I don't want the stickers to come off. I want the person who buys them from us to have a perfectly new bag, which also means when I put the items inside, I need to be very careful as well. So let's just open this beautiful bag up and see what we can fit inside. So All Hermes bags come with these air sealed packs to keep them in shape while you're not using them. So I would always suggest 1, buy a liner, and 2, buy a cushion, because these do pop. So you can get special cushions made for Birkin 25, special cushions made for Birkin 30s, and any size, same with Kelly's. And you can also get liners that are specifically for the size of the bag, and you can then interchange those, or if you don't want to, you can have as many of the liners as you want. So this bag I'm going to show you has an internal zip pocket and an internal flat pocket, and then it's got the big recess in the middle. So I'm going to show you what I feel is acceptable to carry in this bag. So the first thing that I'm going to put in is my trusty bifold long wallet. This comes with me absolutely everywhere, and that very easily fits in with loads of room to spare. If I can just show you that, so you can see there's loads of room either side. Well, I also have 2 mobile phones. I've only got one of them whilst I'm filming. So this is an iPhone 11 Pro Max that goes in. I like to carry perfume with me, so I've got my Van Cleef & Arpels, and we're not sponsored, may I say, by any of the brands that we're going to be showing you that fit in here. So this is Oud Blanc, and that fits in. Now, I'm going to think about what is next, because I am running short of space and it's getting quite heavy. So obviously my car keys and my house keys are very important, so they're going to go in there. And then one thing that I really like to carry with me are hand wipes. Now, I do carry 2 sizes dependent on the size of the bag. 1 size or 2 size. Now, I have to be honest, this is not going to fit in with the other items that I've got. So I'm going to slip this little packet in. I have children, and it's important for me that I carry hand wipes so that if we're about to eat, they've got a quick solution to washing their hands before they eat. And I think we all know I love a lip gloss and a liner. I do feel like that could possibly fit into the zip compartments at the back, so I'll slide that in there, and yeah, it fits lovely. There is something else that I feel I need to carry in this weather, and that's Lemsip, or some kind of paracetamol or medication. Now, that's not just for me, that's in case my children feel unwell, my husband feels unwell. So at this time of year, in winter of 2022, I would always carry a box of some kind of medication. And in the summer, that medication is usually antihistamines, because my husband has terrible hay fever. So that is this bag completely chock to the rafters. It's completely packed full, and I'll be honest, it's very heavy. I would be concerned about the amount of weight that that's carrying. I'm actually going to take my perfume out, which actually considerably lightens the load, but I do have a massive wallet, which is heavy as well. So I'm going to take that out and replace it with a small card holder. And then, as you can see, there's a lot more space in there now. I'll just show you that. So there we have a lot more space in the handbag, which means it's actually going to close should I want to. All of the other stuff before, I don't think it would have closed. This is how I carry my Birkin 25s. So I feel that a packet of medication, a small packet of hand wipes, a couple of mobile phones if you carry 2, I do, a small card holder, and your keys, a lipstick and a gloss is what perfectly fits in here, giving you some room to put some little bits in while you're out shopping, or if your children need you to carry something, which is always the way. I wouldn't put anything more in. That feels like the right weight for this particular bag. So I'm going to empty this one out now, and I'm going to see what we can fit inside this Birkin 30. So let's swap them over. And Birkin 25 is going down, and here is the Birkin 30. So this also is a brand new bag here at Love Luxury, so I'm going to be very careful whilst opening this one also. I'll be honest with you, Togo bags are a lot easier to open and close than, say, the Epsoms, and the stickers do stay on for longer. We are very careful though. Okay, so I'm going to take those bubbles out again. And this one has also got the felt and the locking and crochet in it, so I'll just put those over there. So again, this has a lovely zipper compartment at the back, as nearly all Hermes bags do, and then we have the flat pocket at the front there. So let's see what we can fit in here. So this is already considerably heavier than the Birkin 25. Without a shadow of a doubt, I can fit my long wallet in there. Something I do carry a lot is a notepad, and this was given to me by my husband, and it's a really good idea for me to write notes down because I have a lot of thoughts and I forget them a lot, and so to write them down helps. So carrying my notepad and my matching pen that I was given really helps. So on top of that, mobile phone, of course, I'm just going to try and put them in so they look nicer when I show you. And then I 100% can fit my full size wet wipes in. Again, I'm a mum of 3 and I have 3 puppies, so Kleenex are always really important for me. Plus I wear white a lot, and it's really imperative to carry wet wipes when you wear white a lot. And then I'm going to put in my perfume, which I told you I like, and what else? Gloves and my loop. So gloves I carry because my hands get freezing all the time, so those are actually driving gloves. And then a loop. Should we be out and I have to look at a piece of jewelry or a handbag and I have to dissect it, I need to carry my loop with me. It's very important. Okay, so the bag feels considerably heavy. I'm going to try and show you the inside there. So that's everything inside the bag. There is room for other bits and bobs. So I'm going to put my keys in, and obviously lipsticks. And then on top of my lipsticks, I'm also going to put a hand cream and a pencil sharpener, because what's the good of a lip liner if you don't have a sharpener to sharpen it with, and then you have a blunt lip liner? It doesn't work, does it? So all of those things are now in there. I've got other bits and bobs on the floor, but I'm going to be honest with you, that is really heavy, and I wish I had a set of scales to weigh this so that you knew how heavy this is. My husband always jokes that I carry bricks, and it actually does feel like it today. So there is one other thing that I'm going to put in. I am a sufferer of freezing cold feet, so I always carry a spare pair of sports socks with me in case I go to someone's house and I need to take my shoes off, and then I can keep my toes nice and toasty. So you've seen how much in comparison the Birkin 30 carries to the 25. And when I say that it feels heavy, I mean you have to feel comfortable with the weight. So 1, you're going to get a sore shoulder if it's too heavy. 2, you might be worried about damaging the handles of your bag. 3, you might be compromising the actual full body of the bag if you put too much weight in it. So that's something you need to weigh up when you're filling your bag with your goodies. Don't put your kitchen sink in. It will be too heavy. Just be cautious, because who wants to spend thousands and thousands of pounds on a bag to use it and it just be ruined after a couple of months? I think liners are so important, so are shapers, these cushion shapers for when you're not using your bags. So just bear those things in mind and don't overfill your bag. So moving on from what fits inside, the measurements, there's also something else I want you to consider when you're thinking about buying a Birkin 25 and a Birkin 30. A Birkin 25 can very easily go to night. A Birkin 30 is considerably bigger, so if you're carrying a Birkin 30 during the day, you may find it harder to style to go into evening wear. So that's something definitely worth considering. The Birkin 25 has its bonuses and its negatives, and so does the Birkin 30. Thank you so much for joining us here at Love Luxury today. Don't forget that everything that you see me feature in our videos is always available to purchase here at Love Luxury in our Knightsbridge branch, but also online. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to hit subscribe, like and comment.